Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Adam, and in this video we're going to be doing a complete bathroom remodel. We're going to be tearing up the floors, we're going to be doing electric, plumbing, we're going to be converting the bathtub into a stand-up shower, we're going to be building a really cool full-length mirror storage unit, and there's going to be a lot of other things along the way that hopefully you can tune in and learn something. So let's go ahead and let's start by taking a look at the project. So here we are walking into the space, and as you can see, it is a very tight fit. We have the toilet here with some storage above, mirror, nice full-size bathtub shower combo, and a vanity that I put in about a year ago to replace a standard pedestal vanity. So square footage, we're not looking at much here, maybe 25 square feet. The first thing that we're going to be doing is getting this door to swing the opposite way. Right now, as you can see, the door swings into the bathroom, which just doesn't work considering the small space. And we also have this hallway space here, which isn't being used, and there's no reason why we can't just go ahead and have the door swing into this hallway and save us a little bit of space once we get the new footprint in the bathroom. So in order to get this door to swing out the other way, there's a couple different ways we can handle it. We can either buy a new door, we can swap the hardware, but what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to go ahead and unscrew these 3 screws here. Hopefully we can get them off. They look a little stripped. It's an old house built in the 50s, but I think we'll be okay. We're going to go ahead and take off the screws from the bottom hinge as well. And this is a really light door, so it'll be super easy to get this off. We don't have to worry too much about that. One person job should be able to handle it. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to have to remove this piece of the door frame here, as well as on this side and up on the ceiling. Now the reason we have to take those off is because when you close the door, you can see that's where it hits. We're going to take them off. We're going to have to get new ones and replace them going the opposite direction. And whenever we're done, the door is going to be swinging out and around this way. All right, so we're inside the bathroom now, and we're going to be removing these 2 hinges. So I've got my power drill. Super easy to find one of these. You can pick it up anywhere. Multiple settings for this. I'll probably just put it somewhere in the middle. And I've got these oil rubbed bronze hinges, which I'm going to use to replace these old gold ones. I think they'll be a little bit better with the final design that we have going for this bathroom. You can pick these up on Amazon. I just got a pack of them a long time ago, and I use them whenever I replace doors. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so all the screws are loose now. Luckily, I didn't have any trouble getting these off. They looked a little bit stripped, but they came out super easy. Like I said, the door is very light. If you're using a heavier door, make sure you have a friend there to support it, because as you start to take these off, the door will shift. All right, so there we go. Door's off the hinges. We're just gonna go ahead and take this out of the bathroom, get it out of the way, and we'll come back to it whenever we're ready to reinstall. Now that we have the door off the hinges, our next step is going to be to remove this piece of trim around here that's going to keep the door from closing if we want it to swing out the other direction. So what I have here, mallet, you can use any hammer, it's just going to make a lot of noise if it's made of metal. We have a chisel, and we also have a crowbar here which we can use to pry anything off once we've kind of loosened it from the frame. So let's get started. So as you can see here, a couple hits with the hammer, we're starting to get this to crack. We're just going to keep going at it until it peels away from the door frame. Something else to point out, safety first. Make sure you're wearing your safety goggles. If you have gloves, go ahead and grab those, put those on as well. There's things that can fly off. As you're working with wood, nails, you just want to be safe. Obviously protect your eyes. Last piece. For this next part, we have a few nails in the door frame that we're going to want to go ahead and take out. So grab your hammer, claw end, Control Z. And of course, sometimes you'll have nails that don't have a head on them, don't want to come out. You can just go ahead and nail those in. Get them out of the way, because we will be placing baseboards over these again. Shoot. Well, they didn't want to go smooth in, so they're going to go in a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to be covering all of this up. So you can go ahead and remove this piece as well. It's just a couple screws in there. For this next step, I'm going to go ahead and just take this real simple, flexible 3-inch metal scraper. You can pick these up anywhere, different sizes. All I'm going to do is go along and scrape off any of this old paint, old caulk, anything that might be sticking out. Alright, so now that we got all of the big pieces of caulk, all the paint off, the next step is going to be to sand all this down to get somewhat of a smooth finish. It doesn't have to be super finished. I'm going to be using a Ryobi belt sander. If you have a circular sander or just regular hand sandpaper, either of those will work. On right now I have 80 grit. You can use 60, 100, whatever you have around. You don't want to go too fine with it. But you're just going to go ahead and go over all this and try and smooth out some of the bumps. So now that we're done sanding, what we're going to want to do is take the measurement from the top of the door frame down to the top of where the hinge was, and go ahead and get that measurement, put it over on this side, and mark off where that's going to be. Since we already have these, we don't have to worry too much about measuring and making sure we know where everything's going to be, because we already have this set up for us. Lastly, we'll take the measurement from the top of the door frame to the top of here, and then we'll just go ahead and we're going to do the same measurement, mark it over on this side, because now the door is going to be swinging from here and locking up into here. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take this piece and use it as a guide. So we know where the top of this one was, and you can see the outside of the wall lines up with the lip. Granted, this is upside down. That's how we'll use it as a guide. You can see the lip lines up here. So we're going to be moving it over to this side. So go ahead and find your marking that you made recently. Again, upside down so that we can avoid this lip. Here, we'll line it up with the top mark. Make sure the lip here is lined up with the outside. And then just go ahead and mark your holes here, and then we're going to go ahead and drill some holes there to put the screws in. For the next step, we're going to go ahead and use a router to get a nice small depth into the door. So you can see right here, I marked off with a pencil where we need to cut into the frame. So we're going to be using this Bosch router. We have it set to where just a little bit's going to be taken out. We're going to use that here. We're going to just cut out this little section. pretty happy with that. Once I get the screws, this will level out just where we want it. I'm sure there's a tool that you can use to go ahead and make these perfect, but I don't have it. I went ahead and just used a router bit. Worked out for me. Again, if you know a better way of doing this, leave a comment below. I'd be happy to hear about it. Make sure you don't over tighten these bolts. These can get stripped really easily if you're removing these and putting them back on. I'm sure at some point I'm going to replace this with a black one to match the hinges I showed earlier, but for now, this will do. The next thing is going to be to get the door hinges lined up and get these sections routed out as well. We're going to be using a very similar method to this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but obviously the first thing we're going to do is find the spot where you had it before, line it up, just take a look, see where things line up here just to make sure you're getting the same area. Looks like it lines up right along the crease again. And then here I have my mark where we want it to be. I'm going to want the hinges here so that the door swings out towards me. And then I will mark around here with a pencil, mark my screw holes, and then go ahead and router this out as well, just to the depth of, get some focus on here, just to the depth of one of these. And then once that's in, we'll go ahead and connect it to the door and we'll be all set. Now we can take a look. It's great, nice and smooth. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach these to the door first, and then I'm going to get the door over here. Again, it's helpful to have a second pair of hands, but I'm just going to go ahead and screw it in, and then we'll take a look and see how it works. So ran into a little bit of an issue. I measured incorrectly. As you can see, the hinge needs to be up there. That's where I drilled. What I did was I measured from the bottom to the bottom, and then I did bottom to the top. So this is a nice little lesson, the importance of measuring twice, cutting once. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill this in with wood filler whenever I fill in the old ones on this side. No harm, no foul. A little extra work, but not a big deal. All right. We got the hinge on, you know, the one that I screwed up on a little bit. We got this hinge on. And this is all set as well. Now, for the moment of truth. Perfect. This is great. So now that the door is all set up, you can see we have all this extra room that we can work with. This whole wall here is freed up, which is great because I'm standing in the bathtub currently to try and just shoot this video so you can actually see the bathroom. Man, such a small space. Hopefully I can get some better shots when we come back and finish up the rest of this door. Or who knows, maybe we'll just finish the demolition of the rest of the bathroom before we work on the door. We'll see.